All right, traders, one more time this morning. Actually, it's a new morning, but today it's the Aussie I'm looking at. I'm currently in a short position, down about $50. I'm going to break this out to a 4-hour chart so you can hopefully see this a little bit better. But you can see support, 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 violated, violated. Now we're coming back up into it as the market retests. And what we would expect to see here is, is this market find some resistance here and pull back. I don't know how much we would get, but it certainly would. If it's going to stop, it's going to stop right here. If it doesn't stop right here, it's of course going to rally, and we'll probably see new structure highs. But the way it's been, we violated the lows here, then we did not break the highs, came back down in to retest the lows. You know, it's bearish right now. Expectation is that we will go lower, and so that's what I'm looking at. Dropping down to a 60-minute chart. Again, just identifying the candles here. We had the initial test, then we held that with a candle that did not make a higher high and closed lower than the previous candle, or closed lower than the previous close. And so now we're looking at this. Should be what we would expect to see is a reversal candle here, and it's about what is it, 6:42 in the AM, so this is in advance of U.S. market opening. But this may be just a last-ditch effort here before this market rolls over. Now, we may not see a whole lot out of it. We may only see, a move back down into this support level here before the market finds some support. But the point being is that, there's opportunity here. Look at your risk versus what your potential reward is. It's better than a one-to-one. So, if we do get underneath that level, then of course look left again. Here's the next level. So you can kind of key in on where this stuff is going to happen, where we're going to potentially find some areas of support and resistance in here. And it's just a matter of watching it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll bring it back to you as the trade completes. And traders, it can happen that quick. You see the market here rolling over. I'm on a 5-minute chart now. I'll bump it back out to the hourly so you can see exactly what's going on. But exactly as we saw, the close of the hourly candle, and then boom, right into the new hour, the market drops off. I've rolled my stops. I'm about 5 pips above the previous high candle. Why am I there? Let's go back to the 5-minute chart. As you can see, again, all we're doing is playing the structure. I'm doing structure all week this week so you guys can see it. You got the structure highs here. All I did was take the last high, 0679, added 5 pips, 0684, and that's where the stop is. And now we got to really, we got to identify where do our targets going. Go back out to the hourly. Actually, I'm sorry, on the 5-minute chart, excuse me. The next possible play, we've already broken below the lows here. Actually, we've gotten under them. We haven't closed below them, but that was right on that resistance/support level. The next one's going to be right around here, right around this level. And then beyond that, we'll be looking back down here. So we'll go ahead and wait and see what this market decides to do. I'll go ahead and draw this in here. You got kind of a resistance support level here. Area where we could see a little bit of resistance. If we get down there, what we will no doubt do is roll our stops to break even if we can get down in there. And then what we're going to be looking for is this area out on the hourly. This market should move down into this zone right here. If this moves for real, and again, you always have to ask yourself, hey, if the market goes, where's it going to go? There's nothing saying that it is going to go there, but if it decides to go, where's it going to go? Well, you can see, again, previous structure resistance becomes support. Previous structure resistance may become support. If we get down into this area, stops will go to break even. And then we'll just sit there and we'll wait and we'll see, okay, well, are we going to make any money on this trade or not? If we get under that, initial targets can come off somewhere in here. We won't try and grab everything. We'll have our stops a little bit above this area, but that's going to give us a really nice reward on this trade. But again, we've got to wait and see if the market's actually gonna get down there or not. But everything's lining up. Everything worked as I thought it would. Coming into the resistance level identified by the fact that the market was unable to break above it, and now beginning of the hour here at 7 o'clock, we see that market pulling back. So again, I'll just watch it and we'll come back to it when show you how the trade plays out. And real quickly, traders market coming back up here. You see retesting. Look, I've got the line drawn in right here. Look where we're retesting that previous support level that was just broken. We had, market just slammed down right after the close of the right after the hour closed at 7 o'clock when we had the 7 o'clock candle open. Market took a nosedive, broke structure to the downside. Now we're seeing the relief as the market comes back up. This should be, it should hold here, and above all, it should hold that high. We shouldn't see the market completely reverse here, or else we're wrong. And this is a key point here, is that I'm not always right on this. This is important to note, is that I'm wrong on this, sometimes quite frequently. But what's important to note is that the thought process, and this is again what we're going to be talking about on Wednesday when we discuss structure trading, is that when we look at structure, we know previous structure support should become resistance. If this continues higher, if we come all the way back up, we know that the previous highs should not be violated. And one of the biggest struggles that traders have is determining when they're wrong. How do I know when my analysis is incorrect? Well, the way that you determine when your analysis is incorrect is by looking at the structure. The structure will always tell you. If previous structure support does not provide resistance and we break the previous highs, well, then we've got to know that, hey, we don't want to be in this trade anymore. And so we choose a point just above the previous high. This looks like it's a long way away here. It's only 5 pips. We're on a 5-minute chart. This is not, terribly far away here. I'm just going to delete some of these other lines here. But if this high gets violated here, sorry guys, then we got to know that we're wrong. Now you can see here market held that line on the hourly or on the 5-minute candle, and we'll see, is the market going to pull back down here? Are we going to see it roll over, or was this a false breakout and now the market's going to rally? Only time will tell. But I can tell you one thing for certain, is that if the market does not hold these highs right here, I do not want to be in this trade. Because that's going to tell me that, hey, this was not for real. Because if this is for real, this should not be violated. Sometimes you will come up out of this previous structure support will not prove to be resistance, and we will get a rally out of it back up here. We should never violate that high. And so, again, I don't know what's going to happen with this. Not every trade's a winner. But what I do want to be cognizant of, and what I want to be careful of, is knowing when I need to be out of the market. When am I wrong? When do I know it? And so that's a perfect example of how that works. And alright guys, now violated. Now we're back the other direction. We're up 50 pips, now we're down 50 pips. We're coming back up in to test that resistance level. So now we find out. Now we get to see whether or not this is a training video on how sticking with your trade pays off, or whether we find out whether this is a training video on, how to know when you're wrong. So we'll see here in a minute. Either way, it's going to be a good lesson. So again, but what do we just talk about? Coming back up into the highs, the high shouldn't be violated. And again, in the case of our stop, not only will this high be violated, but this other spike high will be violated as well. And if we look back on the 60-minute chart, you're going to see that that's actually the last 2 candles. So it would have to be higher than the last 2 candles in order for in order for us to be taken out on the stops, which is, in my opinion, the right place for it to be. Some people would tell you, well, it needs to be above the past high. Okay, if we were swing trading it, then yes, you're probably right on that. But as you can see, market dipped at the beginning of the hour. We didn't even get back down into that previous support slash resistance level. Now we're we're back up above. The structure didn't hold. At least we don't know for sure, but at least not right now, unless the market gets beaten all the way back down here below the support level. Then this is not going to hold, and now we're going to be looking at, okay, last stop. But it does not bode well if this doesn't hold here. Guys, kind of funny situation here. The market broke all the way up here, and then at the end of the 5-minute candle, sucked all the way back down, and I actually, thought that looked pretty good. And then in the very next candle, popped all the way back up to test that resistance. We're now pulling back down into basically break even where I bought it from, and we haven't broken the highs yet, but it would certainly appear that that's what the market wants to do. But we've been, it's been kind of back and forth here. You can see kind of, just putting in this V here at the bottom. Could this be a Head and Shoulders? It's possible, very tiny one on this mark. But here's what I want to get at, guys, is that my initial risk was all the way up here above these highs. My risk has now been sucked up significantly to where if I lose on this with $100, $150, something like that, it's nowhere near what it would have been before. And look at that, see it kind of pop around like that. Just lots of indecision here about where we want to go with this currency pair, and no doubt, some news and updating situations right now as well. I don't really follow the news on this; it doesn't matter to me. But what is important is once I'm in the trade, is that I'm executing the trade appropriately, and that I'm using good judgment. And as I say, it would appear that this market is going higher, and without a doubt, if we close higher here, that I'm pretty sure that my stops are going to get triggered here. But again, your rules are in place. What most traders will do here is they'll start to freak out, and they'll start to make, well, let me just take my profits off right. Let me just do it right now. I'm only down $50, and if it goes all the way, I'm going to be stopped out for $100, but $100 or $150 or whatever the case may be. I just got to get out of this trade. But guys, I want you to think about this and think about something. Your stops were originally all the way up here, which means that you're already absorbing less risk than you initially intended. And this is what I talk about with traders, about accepting the risk before the trade goes on. You accept the fact when you place the trade that trade could be a loser. And you've calculated, and you know according to your risk management, or you should know according to your risk management and your money management, what you stand to lose on that trade, be it $10 or $50 or $500. And the important thing to note is that when you place that trade, you must accept that loss. You must accept the fact that that trade may end up a loser. If you do not do that, then you get into this situation where you're emotionally off kilter the entire time, because you don't want it to be a loss, because you don't want to take that loss, because you don't want to lose that money. You didn't place that trade expecting it to be a loser. You placed it expecting to be a winner. So although you considered the fact that you might lose money on it, you really didn't feel it. And now that you're in the trade, emotionally, you're wrecked. We're coming right back up against the resistance level here. This market has shown nothing but strength since we broke out at the beginning of the 7 o'clock hour. Basically an entire half hour of straight upward movement back up into that resistance level. And this, guys, is really the last stop before stops get triggered. And again, we still don't know whether this trade is going to be a winner or a loser, but it would certainly seem as though, man, look at that pop. It would certainly seem as though this market's got nothing but strength. And we've now broken above both of the resistance levels. Now it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time before this market gets stopped out. The only thing that may save this position is the fact that our stops were that 5 pips above, but it probably not. Now I'm just going to hang out here because it looks like we're going to get triggered. And we'll wait and see, and then we'll talk a minute more about it. But we're going to lose 125, you know. You guys remember yesterday we ended up making, about $400. And today it looks like we may lose, 130, 140. That's the way this game works. Is that some days you make money and some days you don't. What we want is to make more money on the days we win than on the days we lose. And there we go. Stops are triggered. So perfect example. And look, now, bam. You think our stops were in the right place? Look at that. Violating the previous highs. And again, I don't know what's going to happen here long term. But clearly here, this market spiking now. June housing starts up 14.6%. That's what caused it. Market now rallying. So guys, I want you to understand something, because I put a lot of videos. We've had break-even videos. We've had some winning videos where I showed you how I made money in the market. But this is I don't up until very recently I've never done videos like this, because I don't think it's important that a guy see you win and see you make money. If people can't tell when I talk to them that I know what I'm talking about, then there's no reason for them to listen to me. You shouldn't have to see it happen real time before you're a believer. It's like I got a pretty good belief that God exists, although I've never physically seen him. But as I look at this market, and we watch this thing move, this is something that I've never done before, because I frankly don't think it's anybody's business how I trade or what I trade, or what my personal trading records are. But I've been showing you some stuff here over the past several days because I want you to understand. Number one is that the discipline that it takes to be a good trader and to be a professional trader. I want to show you the skill set that it takes, that there is a knowledge base here, that this is a skill that can be learned. It's not an innate gift. And then I also wanted to show you that there are winners and there are losers and there are break-even days. And you don't get to decide when you come into the market which one it's going to be. The market gets to decide that. But if you want what separates the good traders from the bad traders, what separates the winners from the losers, is the ability to trade a plan consistently, to trade the strategy consistently, and to be disciplined throughout the trade. And that's exactly what we've worked on here today. And like I said before, I didn't know whether this was going to be a following your rules pays off video, or a hey, knowing when you're wrong video. Well, we've talked a lot about structure here over the past several days. We've seen some winners, some losers, some break-even days, a lot of stuff coming out of these markets. So we're in a very volatile period. This is definitely not a time period that's easy to trade with the back and forth that we've seen. But guys, stick to your rules, follow your plan, trade with consistency, and I promise you, if you do that, over time you're going to be successful, and you're going to be profitable, and you're going to achieve whatever your goals for the market are. Till next time, good luck and good trading. My name is Jason. This is Trading Underground.